Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Marissa, as you know, and I am the Crafty Heifer. So I see Deborah here, and we're going to wait. People are going to filter in as they go. So tonight I'm going to be trying to catch up on my temperature blanket. So this is my May square, which I got about halfway through during the live that I do with Rebecca once a month. We are both hosting our temperature sal. And so I'm going to keep going. We're going to try to continue to get caught up on this, see if I can get May done tonight. And then one of the other things that we're going to do is I was thinking about some of my friends this week. And one of my favorite things is when we go camping and we're just sitting around the campfire, you have some of the best discussions. And so what I'm going to do is, or what I've done basically, is I've gone on to Reddit and I've gotten us some discussion topics. Some real life scenarios that people have posted on Reddit, and I'm going to read them out for you, and then we're going to kind of give our opinions on how you would handle that situation. So the one thing I'm going to ask of you guys, which I know I probably don't have to, but I'm going to say it anyway, is please be respectful of other people's opinions. Make sure that you're not invalidating, what other people's opinions are, because opinions are just that, they're opinions. They're not facts, but they are the way that people feel about things. So be respectful. That's all I'm asking. But first, we're going to see who's here. Hello, Deborah was here. She was waiting on me. There's Jill. Hi, Janie. There's Sabrina, who is the best mod ever. And Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca McClelland. Where you been? There's Mickey and Samantha. Hello, Robert. Well, kind of close to catching up, a bit nice. So I'm halfway through my May square, and then I'm like halfway through several other squares. So I just have to do some of these catch-ups to do this, because I do just fine when I'm with you guys, and I can just sit down and do it and not think about it. But sitting on my couch, I just can't make myself do it. So it probably doesn't help that it's actually felt like summer the last couple of days, and I'm not impressed. But we're going to see how it goes. So hello, Danielle. Welcome. Hello, Kathy and Dawn and Tia. Reddit. Yes, we're going to be doing some Reddit stories. And Kaya. Hello. So, I do want to show you guys first. We're going to do it this way. I got another tip from Patriotic Team. And I did happen to luck my way into a 4-placer. And so I honestly haven't opened it, obviously. It's been sitting on my desk since I got it. I have not been feeling crafty. My crafty bug has completely flown the coop. So I've not done any cross-stitching, no diamond painting, hardly anything at all. So that is the 4-placer from the Patriotic Team. Very nice. So I need to get that put into my diamond painting pen. But for right now, I'm just going to put it over there where I remember where it's at, in my little sorter. Hello, Orchid. How are you? I know it's late your time. Thank you for joining us. So, yeah, all the tips are sold out at the moment. So I just happened, like I said, I lucked my way into that one. I just happened to hit Facebook at just the right time to be able to get that. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. There we go. Some real life colors. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Dawn says she has several of their 4-placers. Love them. So you guys know, I got to try them last year at my retreat. And so I had gotten the single placer. And again, that was one of those things where it's like she posted it. I just happened to be on Facebook and went and got one. And then a minute after I checked out, they were sold out. So I just barely got it on time. So I got this, and I've been loving it. I have noticed I'm not so much a fan. I like the super sticky patty wax, but it doesn't stay in this pen tip very well. And I don't know if it's because it was cold in my apartment. I keep it nice and chilly, or what. But I think it's just going to take some work to get used to it. And then I'll, of course, replace my really old 4-placer here that is, somebody gave me some at the retreat. And this is one of those. So I've been using this one since October, but it'll get replaced with the steel one, which hopefully I'll never have to replace again. Anywho, okay. So Autumn I says her goal is to get one of each, then think about seconds. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and read you this first one. Again, I ask that everybody be respectful, but I'm going to read you this and then we'll discuss it. And I've got several of these, and as we're discussing it, I'm going to work on my project here. So the title of all of these is, and excuse the language, am I the asshole? Okay. So am I the a-hole for making my friend send me a picture of her dressed so I can pick her up as she's consistently late? And it says, sorry for the confusing title, but here we go. I, 20-year-old female, have been friends with Mia, fake name, 20-year-old female, for years now. And she's one of my best friends. I love Mia, but there's one problem that annoys the hell out of me. She's constantly late. Wherever we go, Mia's at least an hour late, even when we pick her up at her house. I can't even count the times when Mia asked me or our friends for a ride just to make us wait in front of her house in the car because she still has to get dressed, just came out of the shower, or still has to eat. One time we were trying to pick up Mia in the winter and she made us wait 30 minutes in front of her house because she had to do her makeup. Mia texting she's ready to be picked up just to make us wait in front of her house is a very common occurrence. Last week, I kind of snapped. I tried picking Mia up at her house, and once I texted her that I was here, she immediately texted back, just need to get dressed. I ended up waiting 20 minutes in the car for Mia. Quite frankly, I'm sick of waiting. So yesterday, Mia needed a ride, but I demanded she send me a picture of herself already dressed before I would leave my house to pick her up. Mia was very mad at me and said she feels like I'm treating her like a baby. So, am I the asshole for making Mia send me a picture of her already dressed before I pick her up? So, what do you guys think about that? Because honestly, I have some friends like that are always late. Now, not 30 minutes or an hour. It's usually like 5-10 minutes. I can deal with that because you just plan it into your time. And I just tell them to be there 5 or 10, 15, 20 minutes before they actually need to be to account for that time. But if you had someone that was relying on you for a ride and then couldn't be ready on time, what would you do? I want everybody's opinions. I want you guys to chime in and we'll have a discussion about it because nothing makes me madder than someone wasting my time. And if I was ready on time, and I'm very much a stickler for being on time, I probably would have snapped before this girl did because, yeah, if you tell me you're going to be ready in 10 minutes, I expect you to be standing at your door ready to get in the car in 10 minutes. And I don't think that's outside the realm of expected. Just me personally. I think maybe she probably wasn't raised with some good time management skills is what it sounds like. She might struggle with time management skills. But also, when you make other people wait on you like that and you do it consistently, that shows that you do not value their time and the effort that it takes for them to be ready and to be there on time. And you possibly don't respect the friendship very much if you do it all the time. Because, like, you let your friends get away with stuff, right? I mean, you let your friends get away with stuff that you probably wouldn't take from strangers. But I think I would be probably really upset as well. Okay. So I want to see what you guys have to say. Hello, Amanda. So Tia says I should get a Switch and wait for my crafty bug to return. I am not getting a Switch. I'm not. Put it out of your minds. I'm not doing it. Tia says Mia would have had one chance. Then Mia would be hoofing it to wherever she wanted to go. I'd be sending Mia's butt a text and a pic of me kicking at the venue. See, Tia's old school. She's like, nope, you had your chance. Dawn says, tell them an earlier time. We did that with my sister. Deborah says she's a day late and $1 short. She is, definitely. Amanda says, I did that, but to a 12-year-old. She was never ready on time all school year. Even if I waited 10 minutes later, she would not be ready. And Deborah also says she's a stickler for time also. And Amanda says, or I would have her video chat me so I could see and verify she was ready. Yeah. So I think possibly the OP or the original poster could have said, hey, let's FaceTime. And, without saying, well, send me a picture if you're not ready, or so I can see if you're ready. She could have been a little more sly about it and been like, hey, I want to see what you're wearing. I'm going to FaceTime you. And then she could see if she was ready, dressed and ready or not. Janie says, tell her I would meet her wherever. I had a friend like that made me late for school. Yeah. Yeah. And especially if you're relying, if you're relying on somebody else for a ride, then you definitely need to be on their schedule and not on your schedule. So I know, my friend Kim and I, most of you know, we go to a Saturday Stitchy group on the third Saturday of the month together. And Kim stops by my house and she picks me up because my house is on the way. My house is between her house and the venue that we go to. And I'm always ready. Like, it might take me a minute or so to get out of the house after she texts me she's here. I gather up my bags, lock the door. That might take me a minute, but that's about it. So, I make sure that I'm ready to go when she gets here. Why take picture? That is so rude. Mia should have called the cops. No, Robert, I don't think it's like she was asking Mia to take a picture of herself so she could see that she was actually ready, because she would say she's ready and then not even have gotten in the shower yet. So she was asking, hey, are you actually ready, or are you just saying that? I don't think that's a call the cops situation. Okay, so that was the first one. So I think we've all sussed out that Mia needs to get her act together, right? Okay. This is an arts and crafts related one. Are we ready? Am I the asshole for refusing to delete my post? I spend most of my time doing arts and crafts, and I like posting about it, from kits, plans, designs, whips, and finished pieces. Now, I'm not a great artist. Most people are better than me, but I still love making things anyway, right? We can all relate to this. We're all here. We're all with her. When me and my boyfriend started getting serious, his sister wanted to know more about me, so she added me as a friend on Facebook, and I added her back without thinking about it. The next day, she called my boyfriend and asked how he could date a pretentious snob like me, and how I thought I was better than everyone else When my boyfriend told me this, I was shocked because I never implied any of that or have done anything to get that reaction. She sent a screenshot to my boyfriend as proof. It was my New Year's Eve post with a picture of all the art pieces I had made in the year, and a post said, all the work I did this year, I'm so proud of these. She says posting my art constantly makes me a show-off. His family have been moaning about this all week and have been demanding me to remove my post and how I should be humble. The thing is, I don't post to show off. It's supposed to be more like a blog, only with my art, a personal journey I'm sharing with my friends and family, or sometimes just dumping grounds of ideas. I admit maybe the New Year post was a bit braggy, looking back on it. My boyfriend thinks this is petty, but I don't know. Am I the asshole for this? So, okay, so I'll go first. So personally, no, I don't think she is. And I think if she is the asshole, then all of us on YouTube are the assholes, because isn't this exactly what we do, you guys? We look what I finished. We celebrate each other's accomplishments. We celebrate the whips. We celebrate all of this kind of stuff. I mean, am I bragging? Because I'm like, look what I did. I have crocheted the things, right? And so if you have a friend, I have a friend that posts his art on his Facebook. I enjoy looking at it. So what do you guys think about this post? Because I think she's just trying to have fun with her art. I think the boyfriend's sister is looking for a reason not to like her. Personally, that's kind of what it sounds like to me. So let's see what everybody says. Deborah says, sounds like the girl is jealous and I would just ignore her. Fair enough. Tia says, anyone with a large stash has experienced this. It is extremely petty. Keyboard warriors who are jealous of the money investments are usually the ones shouting the loudest. All right. So you think that the sister is wanting to actually do those things, but either doesn't know how or whatever, so she's tearing the girl down for doing that. Janie says, if you feel good about what you do, why not share? Girlfriend is jealous because she can't do it. Yeah, so the sister is jealous because she can't do it. See, I kind of am thinking the same thing. I mean, because you don't even have to be the best artist, but just finishing something, trying something, even if it's not something like you handmade, if it's something that you just, put together or stuck some diamonds on a canvas, it's still an accomplishment, right? Okay, we're going to change colors to purple, and then I'm going to start reading again. And it also doesn't sound like the boyfriend agrees. Let's see where we're at. Just finish the grave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17. It is time to decrease. So we go and decrease. 2, 3. All right. Where was I at? Sorry about that. Oh, Dawn. If the sister is not a craft person, she may not realize how much work goes into them. Keep posting. Yeah, I agree with that. Keep posting. Keep doing it. I mean, I see people that literally their entire YouTube is just the stuff that they finished. They're like little 1 to 2 minute montage videos. And it's just the stuff that they finished. And I'm okay with it. I like looking at stuff that people have finished, right? We all like to see what each other's doing and working on. We get inspiration from each other. We enable each other. So if there are people on her Facebook that like it, go for it. And you know what she can always do? If the sister doesn't like seeing it, she can mute the sister to where she can't see what she posts on her Facebook. Just saying. Robert says, I think his sister should back off. Yeah. Robert's just laying it out. I think so too. Tia says she is wanting to have the money that she feels is wasted on the art or art supplies, perhaps, because she can't financially invest in her own caveat. Okay. I see what you're saying, Tia. Maybe she has something she's wanting to do or would like, maybe she wants to get her nails done every week, but she can't afford it. So she's attacking the art because the girl can afford craft supplies or art supplies. What did they put in Robert's Wheaties? He's feisty. That's all right. We like a little feisty now and then, don't we? It's a lot of fun. Hello, Dawn Marie. How are you? And I saw Shawana sneak in too, and I think somebody else snuck in on me. Nope, that's one too many again. I'm trying to make these real big. Okay. Shawana says, that's crazy. I think it's crazy too. Honestly, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, don't you have anything better to do? But then there's some families that are all up each other's butts. Okay. So this one is for some of the mamas out here, especially mamas of boys. It says, am I the asshole for forcing my son to do some sort of research on our daughter's condition? English isn't my first language. Sorry in advance for any errors. I, 41-year-old female, have 2 kids, a 12-year-old female and a 15-year-old male. My daughter has a condition called endometriosis, and for those unaware, it's a condition in which the uterus tissue doesn't grow properly, and due to this, periods can become much worse. For those aware of this condition, if you are wondering, I have a friend who is a gynecologist who was able to help us. I say this because of how hard this condition is to diagnose normally. My son has never taken it seriously and has said things along the lines of, she needs to suck it up, or she needs to stop being so obnoxious in reference to the groaning noises. I have told him to stop and threaten punishment, but I let him slide as I attribute it to virtual school stress and, as of late, final stress. And he has made these comments to me, so I wasn't as big of an issue. At the end of last month, their school ended, yet he still made this comment today. So I told him that he needs to research and learn about the condition for this entire week or the next one so that he learns to be more sympathetic. He was upset by this and said he didn't want to, and I told him that he had to, and he groaned and went to go do it. Yet my husband, a 43-year-old male, said that this was unreasonable, and even if it was a reasonable punishment, forcing him to do research isn't going to help. I told my husband that I wasn't forcing him to be sympathetic. I was forcing him to learn about the pain. We argued for a bit before my husband told me I was too stubborn and walked away. Now I feel that forcing him may have been a bad decision, as it is a bit unreasonable and it won't have much of an effect. So, am I the asshole? I'm going to let you guys go first on this one because I can't wait to see what they have. Like, I want to hear from Tia because I don't think Justin would probably have ever have done this, but I definitely want to get her perspective. And I know a couple of you others are moms of boys. So moms of boys especially, how would you have handled this situation? Hey, Victoria, how are you? She would have got left, just got in the shower. That's crazy. Yeah, Shawana, exactly. Exactly. Shawana, way back at the beginning. Only when he needs to be. Okay, Robert. So what do you guys think about this? Do we think this is an unreasonable punishment? Do you think that that was something reasonable for the mother to do? Dawn says, whoo, she is feisty. We all feisty tonight. All right. Dawn says, put his manhood in a vice. So how does that feel? I think that might be excessive. Janie says she thinks the mother is correct. If the son doesn't want to check online, then she needs to explain it to him. I have 2 sons and 1 daughter. Okay. So Janie doesn't feel like that is unreasonable. I don't feel like it's unreasonable to ask him to be more sympathetic to his little sister. You know, I get that guys don't understand it. And I am one of those people that feel like we need to stop stigmatizing women having periods and the things that happen during that time. Because let's face it, it's our body and it does what it does. And I do feel like boys need to maybe not know as much as girls about it, but they need to at least, you know, kind of have a basic understanding. There's this one guy on TikTok, and he's a British guy. And on a couple of his videos, actually, he took one of those pregnancy simulating machines that simulates the amount of pain a woman goes through while she's in labor, and put it on. And literally, you guys, like, number 2 on that thing is like normal, whatever that is, normal cramps during a woman's menstrual cycle. And he could barely handle it. Not to mention when he got up to like 6 or 7, which is like the beginning stages of labor, and he was almost on the floor. And he was like, how do you guys do this every single month? And you just go on and you live your lives like nothing is wrong. Like, I think it's awesome that there's a guy willing to do that, and to be understanding about it. Victoria says, I don't think it is wrong with her to do that. My mom did the same thing to me before. When I didn't know what something was, she told me to write a report on it. This is when I was homeschooled. Okay. So if you look at it from that perspective of it's just a parent teaching their child about something new that they hadn't come across before, taking out, what the topic is about. If he wanted to know more about building cars, he would do the research, right? So why is this any different? Mom is just asking him to do the research. So I feel like that's a good point. All right. Tia says, my son knows to choose his words wisely. Respectfully decline. However, remember, there is always a time when your butt will need something. So assist when you can, so you can receive when you need. Okay. I see what you're going. Yeah. I see what you're doing there. Hey, Fee, how are you? I hope you're doing well. All right. Give me just a second. Let's finish this row. You guys can't even see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Finish this row. And then I will read out the next ones. Anybody else have any other comments on this? Hey, Deanne. How are you feeling today? I hope it's not too bad. Let's change of color. Oh, boo. Hold on. Before we do that, we are supposed to be decreasing. So let's decrease. Try that again. No problem, Fee. So we are doing some Reddit threads and having a little discussion of what our opinions are on it. So, and this is our May square. So we're going to go with back to the grape. In fact, these next several ones are going to be switching back and forth. Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my younger sister I'm not her parent and don't owe her anything? I, 23, have 2 younger siblings. This is a 23-year-old female. My sister is 16 and my brother is 14. When my parents had my sister, they approached being a sibling as a job, and they stuck with that story for the rest of my childhood. They said it was my job to teach them things, to look out for them, look after them when needed. Then it was help with homework, walk home from school, and walk to friends' houses when they wanted to go. Then it was my job to plan and make them out, plan and take them out for sibling time. It would be my job to always have space and time for them whenever they needed it. That as a big sister, I owed them that. And my siblings were more than happy with that. When I lived at home, they always demanded my time or attention. I had to help with homework every day, and most of it is regular sibling stuff. But they came to expect me to drop everything for them the way a parent might. Like if they were struggling and I was in the middle of my homework, I had to stop doing mine to help with theirs. Or if I had plans and they wanted to go someplace, I had to cancel my plans. It's my parents' fault. But more than once, I tried talking to them about how I deserve to have my life and do my own thing too. And then I moved out and I would get calls all the time from family about it. Over time, my brother stopped and our relationship got a bit easier. But my sister never changed. She would call and tell me she wanted to stay the weekend with me, or she wanted me to take her to a concert, or that my mom and dad told her I was supposed to take her shopping, or that she saw something in the store and I had to buy it for her. I told her twice in the last 2 years that I was not going to drop everything and do what she wanted, and she needed to get better at asking for this stuff. When I spoke to my parents, they said it was my obligation as a big sister to do these things. So they were no help. My sister got invited to some fake prom with her boyfriend because prom wasn't going ahead in her school this year. I'm assuming this post is from 2020. She calls and tells me she needs me to take her dress shopping, that she knows the dress she wants and everything, and that I need to bring $300. I tell her no. She ignores me and tells me that they want to stay at my place after this prom and that I need to give her a key to my place to make it easier. I cut her off and tell her no, none of this is happening. She whines and I tell her whining won't change it. She then tells me it's not fair and I owe her this. I snapped. I told her I am not her parent and I do not owe her a damn thing. That she does not get to make demands of me because I'm older, because this is not some job like our parents always said. And if she can't accept that, then she needs to stop calling me. Am I the asshole? I'm the asshole in this, according to my parents and sister. Parents read me the riot act, or started to, and I hung up. They are still pissed 5 weeks later. All right, y'all. I got a lot to say about this because, yeah. But I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to let y'all go first. Woo! Yeah, this one, I read this one and I was like, about that. So I'm going to let the actual parents, I'm not even a parent and this one made me mad. So I'm going to let y'all go first as actual parents of children. And we're going to psychoanalyze this because these parents, oh my goodness. I can't even. All right, let's see. Hey, AP, how are you? There's Mickey. Hello. I think I said hello. Hi, Diamond Queen. Mickey says, just started The Three Graces by Josephine Wall today and finished 1.5 sections. Mickey, you are a diamond painting fiend. You just knock them out. It's 100 by 80. Oh my goodness. Dawn Marie says, OMG, who the F is this parent? Sounds like the parents had kids just to have fun for her to effing raise. I'd be like, you lay, you play. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Dawn Marie's not having it. Not having it, y'all. I figured this one would get everybody kind of riled up. So I have an older sister and I have younger siblings. Now, to be fair, I was not raised with my younger siblings and I was not raised with my older sister. However, I would never expect her job to be to take care of me. Like, are you kidding me right now? And second of all, this little sister sounds like a brat. And I don't know if that's because she looks at the big sister as her parent and she's not been getting the attention that she's used to, or if this is a parent spoiling the youngest child because they're the youngest child kind of a thing. So Janie says, change your phone number. Oh my, y'all are getting real serious. Deanne says, let them be pissed. It's their problem, not hers. See ya, bye. Yeah. Dawn says, bad parenting on the parents' part. I would have put a stop to it long before this. Exactly. So here's my follow-up question on this. This is pretty much, it sounds like the parents had the kids, expected their oldest child to raise the kids, and didn't really want to have anything to do with it other than making sure she did the work for them. So obviously, I feel like she didn't have these kids. It is not her job to raise these kids. Now, on the other hand, I can see like the parents being like, you're the big sister, you need to be a good influence, spend time with them, help them with some things, but she's not their parent. She's absolutely right about that. She's not their parent. And it sounds like the brother has kind of wised up to this and is like happy to spend time with his older sister, but not be all up in her business and be like, you're my second mom. You raised me, do all the things. Tia says your parents are assholes. And it sounds like you don't need them. So don't pick up the phone. You'll be fine. Keep it moving. Call them at Thanksgiving and Christmas. Give them 5 minutes a holiday. All right. So as someone who has not talked to my parent in a very long time, like years long, toxic parents, that's a whole other thing, y'all. That is a whole bucket of worms there. I don't speak to my parents because it was a toxic relationship. And as an adult, I can make that choice for myself. I'm not going to get into it on the internet. Obviously, those of you that are in the smaller groups with me, we've talked about this a little bit, but is it okay to cut out toxic parents? You can cut out toxic people in your life. It's easy to do that, with friends and, coworkers that you have and things like that, but it is harder to do with family. I can say that from experience. It is harder to do with family. It can be done if you are determined to do it. So do we think, I think these parents are toxic. Do you think these parents are toxic parents? Like, should she could just completely cut them out? Should she lay down a boundary? And if they cross it, cut them out? Like, be like, listen, I'm not doing this anymore. This is my boundary. And you can either respect it or you don't have me in your life. What do we think? Hey, Brian, welcome. Mickey says, the I'm the baby syndrome. Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like. This little sister has the I'm the baby syndrome, but I think it's actually the brother that's actually the baby. So now my sister and I are very close, y'all. We talk every single day, and we've put in the work to have that kind of relationship. And she is 5 years older than I am. So, there's a bit of an age gap there, but I don't think this situation would ever have occurred because she wouldn't have stood for it. Tax deduction to the parents. Yeah, so you think, okay, I see what you're saying. The kids are just tax deductions. All right. That's a fair point too. Deanne says, yes is okay, and yes, they are toxic, and they got to go. So Deanne votes for toxic parents to completely cut them out. Tia says it's gone on too long for boundaries. She has to cut them out of her life long enough for lessons to be learned and hard lessons. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Yes, cut them out and the calling. So Robert says definitely cut them out. Okay. So we are all of one accord. I knew that one would get y'all because I was like, say what now? Because, I liked spending time with like my younger cousins and things like that. But when I was done, I was done. And I certainly was not their mama. Of course, I didn't want to be a mama, so still don't. That makes a difference. Okay. So this is a parenting one. I think this is the last one. Oh no, there's one more after this. Okay. Am I the asshole for excluding one kid from my daughter's class to attend her birthday party? All right. Don't get too excited about that. Here we go. I'll be honest. I'm still learning the ropes with this whole dad thing. Only been in my daughter's life for over a year after finding out about her and taking over since her mom's no longer in the picture. She just turned 7 and we're having a small birthday celebration in my backyard with her classmates this weekend. When school opened again, we started having problems with one kid in particular who we'll call Nick. A lot of parents have been complaining about him because he's a huge bully to the other kids and gets benched, basically a timeout a lot during recess. I've had talks with the teacher because he made my daughter cry after teasing her constantly about her mom. I was pissed. Her teacher promised that they were going to be handling the situation with Nick and keep him away from my daughter. Supposedly, they've had many talks with the mom, but all she seems to do is baby the kid. He hasn't bothered my daughter since my talk with the teacher. So for my daughter's birthday, she decided to invite almost everyone in the class, obviously except for Nick. His mom confronted me after school when I was picking her up. I guess he was crying that he didn't get an invitation. I had my daughter wait in the car, and this lady was giving me hell for excluding her son when this could have been a chance for him to finally get along with his classmates. I told her, lady, he had months to do that, or for her to teach him to. This is their last week of school. Bit too late to be trying to make friends now with how he was treating all the kids, especially my daughter. She just kept saying I should be ashamed of myself for not taking this opportunity to teach my daughter a valuable lesson on learning compassion. It was just a really intense encounter. But in the end, I still refused to give an invitation since my daughter said she didn't want Nick at her party. I'm still thinking about the whole interaction. I've never dealt with a parent like that, and being still new to it all myself, I'm sort of having doubts now how I handled it. Did I do the right thing or wrong? I want my daughter to be comfortable and happy on her birthday, but I get that this upset another kid. Am I the asshole? So I'm going to let the parents chime in on this one while I change colors again. So basically, this kid has bullied all of the other kids in the class the entire year since they've been back. He didn't say how long that they've been back in class, but I think most districts went back, like mid-fall. Most districts started kind of giving you that option. So let's say, the majority of the year, this kid has been bullying his daughter over her mom, which is not something that she can control. And let's face it, kids are little vicious snot bubbles, but we're going to call them. They can be, not all kids, but they can be for sure. I was bullied in school. I know several of you, we've talked about this, were bullied in school. So, and this mom sounds like a complete and total Karen, to be real honest with you, like to the nth degree. So, a guy stepped up, took his daughter in after not knowing about her for, it sounds like, about 6 years, and is doubting himself. I don't think he has any room to doubt. I think he did this beautifully. So, let's see what you guys have to say. Tia says, no, you got to be better than the kid. What are you teaching your own kid? No bueno on the exclusion, Dad. Okay, so Tia says the kids should be included. And Deanne says no, and that is why your son is not invited. Yeah. Kaya says if her daughter doesn't want Nick there, don't let Nick be there. That's kind of how I feel about it too. Like, I don't think this is the daughter being mean. I think this is the daughter literally saying, I don't like this kid and I don't want him at my birthday. He's going to ruin it. Like, I don't think the daughter's purposefully being like mean. I think she's just like, I don't want him there. I mean, as an adult, I don't want people around. So why shouldn't kids get to say that? Dawn says, sorry, you were told he was not treating the other kids correctly. So nope, not coming to the party. Okay. Janie says the father is correct. Wonder why the boy was bad like he was. Maybe his parents were like that and let him get his way. Now he wants to go to the party. Sorry, kid, no way. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a harsh lesson for the kid, but maybe this, because it doesn't sound like the mom is really reinforcing what the teachers are trying to teach. So maybe being excluded like this one time will teach the child, that he has to get along with his classmates. Otherwise, they don't want him around when it comes to the fun stuff. Tia says, bullying is usually about so much more, though. And funny how the dad and mom found a way to communicate after the exclusion. Why not before? My son was bullied, got his jawbone broken by a bully. Okay? Yeah, so Deanne still says if the daughter doesn't want him there, don't. Then he's not there. She wants to enjoy her party. Tia says, and my son wouldn't let me interfere. He wanted to speak to the boy outside of school. We sat down and found out the other boy was beaten at home by mom's boyfriend and was taking out his frustration. So Tia, you think there's something else going on with the bully kid with Nick other than just him being a bully. There's always something else going on, whether it's just that they don't know how to interact with other children, but it kind of sounds like the mom is a bit of a bully with the way that she was yelling at this dad. So I'm wondering if that is where he's picking up the behavior, or is something else going on. I mean, honestly, this is one of those situations where it's kind of like, yes, the daughter could be sympathetic, but it sounds like she's tried to be sympathetic to this child before, and he still kept teasing her. So at what point do you say, okay, you don't have to try anymore? The boy needs to learn a large lesson here. Mom has taught that behavior to the son, definitely. So is it a little bit of bullying in reverse that the girl didn't invite him to the party? I think so, but I think she also has the right, especially if it's at her home, to say who she wants in her house and who she doesn't. If it was a party at school and they were excluding her or excluding the child, I think that would be different. Like, you wouldn't be able to do that. But yeah, especially if you're having a party at your house, you get to decide who you want in your home. So Tia says, correct, it definitely is the mom being extremely daft and softening the actions of her child. If he's not taught boundaries and respect, how will he ever learn it? Exactly. Yeah. Okay, we're going to finish this row here and change colors again. But yeah, so I had kids, and bullying, like when we were in school, you guys, bullying wasn't a thing really. I think they were kind of starting to talk about it a little bit, especially like after Columbine happened. But I want to say I was in middle school when Columbine happened, maybe even high school, junior high school, somewhere around there. And I think that was the first time where people were aware of like what bullying could do, like what the consequences of that really were. Robert said he was bullied for 5 years by one kid. He learned not to pick on me. Yeah. So I know there's also, again, going back to TikTok, there's a lot of parents on TikTok that have posted stuff, especially like their daughters, where boys are picking on their daughters and the daughters are retaliating with force. I know one was like, this kid kept pulling her daughter's ponytail, like not like gently, like hard, like hurting her. And it had been going on for like a couple of weeks. And the dad finally was like, when the next time he does it, turn around and punch him in the nuts. And she did, and she got suspended. The boy didn't get suspended for hurting the other child, for hurting the daughter. But the girl gets suspended because she defends herself. And I have a problem with that. I really do. And so I'm not saying violence is the answer. I'm not saying this little girl should punch this other kid or anything like that. Purple, grape, purple. Back to grape. But, there's a point where, what do you do if you cannot get a kid to stop and the school's not helping? We tell adults it's their responsibility to protect themselves. So why is it different for kids? Does that make sense? I hope that made sense. So what is y'all's perspective on that? If your daughter or son was being picked on, at what point do you tell them that it's okay to protect themselves? And if that requires force, then they're allowed to use force and they won't get in trouble by you. They'll still get in trouble at school probably, but you won't be angry at them if they protect themselves with force. So I'm genuinely asking as a parent, where's your line? So because obviously I don't have kids, as a teacher, I did not let this happen in my classroom. The second I knew about it, it stopped. And if it didn't stop, it got escalated very quickly. So it usually only took, once, maybe twice of a kid telling me and me seeing a pattern for me to pick it up. Now, I know not all teachers are like that. Not all school districts are like that. I did have, a really good admin team behind me that also did not condone bullying. And so, when you took something to them, it was handled quickly. It was not swept under the rug because, oh, boys will be boys or whatever. So, where's y'all's lines as a parent or as an aunt or an uncle if you're not a parent? What point do you think it's okay? Dawn Marie says she'd have fought that. They would be suspended or fired. Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I would have fought that suspension because if you're going to let him hurt my daughter, when she hurts him back, she doesn't get suspended because he didn't get suspended. Or if you're going to suspend her, you also have to suspend him because he instigated the fight. So that was the rule in our high school when I was in high school. Now, granted, this was 20 years ago, but the rule was the instigator of the fight, whoever threw the first punch, was the one that got suspended. Now, if you retaliated and it became an all-out brawl, you both got suspended, which I think is fair. In this situation, though, would the instigation be the boy pulling the girl's ponytail, or would the instigation be the girl hitting the boy for retaliation? Tia says, you remember Columbine, and that's when everyone began to open up about their childhood experiences with being bullied. Before it, everyone said, oh, kids will be killed. That builds character, right? You need to toughen up. You need to suck it up. You're fine. It's not that big a deal. Don't worry about what people say, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. I remember that my whole childhood. We joke about it now. But when you had, if you got an injury, playing sports, I played sports my whole childhood. And if you got an injury, if you could walk, you were fine. They would tell you to walk it off. You walk it off and go ice it. And that was it until it proved to be something worse. So I actually, in high school, my freshman year of high school, I slid into a base wrong. And this was when the bases, when I was a child, they went down onto this, there was a stake in the ground, there was a hole dug out around it, and it slid down onto the base itself, slid down onto that pole, and that kind of kept it in place. However, if you slid into that base and you hit the side of the base, it would pop up. And so it had give to it. That was about the time they were going to the so-called safer bases that didn't pop up. And they called them safer because they wouldn't pop up and the metal wouldn't scratch you. Or you couldn't impale yourself on the stake that was in the ground. But they didn't have any give to them. They stayed in the hole. And so I slid into the base expecting it to pop up. And it didn't. And I actually tore some of the ligaments in my ankle. And I was literally told to walk it off. And I walked it off and I ran on it for about, I think it took about 3 days before I physically could not walk on it anymore. And it swelled up really bad. And I was finally taken to the doctor. And then that's when they found out that I had torn stuff. And the doctor was like, why have you been walking on this? And I was like, because they thought it was just a like lightly sprained ankle. No big deal, right? That's the difference nowadays. So Janie says her daughter was picked on and you went to the principal. She did nothing. Robert says your brother all the way had your back in school because of the way you walk. Yeah. Deanne says she has to defend herself. She should tell him to stop. If he doesn't tell the teacher, if he does it again, I go to the principal and it will not end. And if it will not end, I don't put up with that. Yeah. So, and this was the thing is like the parents had already escalated this up the chain. The kid had been doing this for a while and they'd escalated it up the chain. The principal knew about it. And before this little girl got suspended. And when the principal, the administration didn't do anything about it, he finally just told his daughter, next time he does it, just turn around and hit him. And she did. And I feel like at that point, you know, if the school's not going to do anything about it, your kid gets to protect themselves. Dawn says, your son was being hit by a kindergarten kid on the bus, but he was 6th grade. The kid's glasses got broken. They wanted us to pay for them, and my son kicked out, etc. So the smaller child was the one acting out, but they wanted you to pay because his glasses got broken. Yeah. Don Marie says, put it this way. The schools knew when I walked in, there was a damn problem because I was the only time I ever seen, they ever saw you. Your daughter knew somebody messed with her. She was to protect herself. Yeah. That's kind of my grandma walking into the school. They did not want to see her coming either. She was kind of the same way. So she sued the school district to get a softball team because they wouldn't let the girls play baseball, but they didn't want to fund a softball team. So she Title IX'd them right into court and won. And now the softball team is more successful than the baseball team. Who knew? Girls playing sports. Just saying. Yes, both suspended in the case. Yeah. Dawn says they pulled the bus tape. The little was taking a book and slamming it against my son. He put his hand up to stop the book. Yeah. See, and that's the thing is nowadays there's cameras in schools, like everywhere in schools. There's cameras on the buses. I mean, we had bus cameras, but like our school system didn't have cameras in the hallways and things. So it was always, you know, this person's word against the other. Instigation was him pulling on her ponytail, defending herself. That's what the girl did. Yeah, I think so too. Her retaliation got her suspended, but he didn't get punished for pulling her pony after being told to stop. No, and he'd been told to stop multiple times. Dawn says the glasses got knocked off. No apologies from the other parent who wanted to take out my son when their kid was being a bully. Yeah. And it's always, I love when I don't love it, but you know what I mean. It's very satisfying when the parents of a bully are shown irreparable proof, like irrefutable proof that their child is the bully. And then they're just like, oh, Timmy would never do that. Da, da, da. And you're like, your child is a little devil spawn. And Timmy absolutely would do that. You obviously do not know your child. And I've had some little Timmys too. Just saying. Tia says, I think they felt the retaliation didn't match the initial act. It was more aggressive in nature and could have caused much more damage. Not that I agree, but I believe that is the reason. Maybe so. Janie says, my daughter was in kindergarten and your son was in 8th grade, same school. At the time, no one would pick on her because her brother was like 5'5". Yeah, exactly. There was always kids that you were like, they got an older sibling and that older sibling is mean. Yeah. I went to school with those kids too. You were just like, not worth it. My daughter was sexually harassed by a boy in the 6th grade. He didn't stop after she told him to stop. She told her teacher, and he still didn't stop. So I went to the principal with a 3-page letter. Yeah. The boy got expelled. Good. Yes, that's the way to do it. So, and it's good, like I said, some districts have better policies and they actually enforce their policies, and there are other districts that don't. And I know as a teacher, you've got a lot going on, but it is still your responsibility to make sure that your students are safe. That is probably your number one responsibility as a teacher, is to make sure your students are safe. All right, let's do the last one real quick, and then we will wrap it up with our Wednesday wins, because it's 8 o'clock. Am I the asshole for asking my boyfriend to help more around the house? So my boyfriend, 23 male, and I, 21 female, those are their ages, have lived with each other for over 3 years, and he's never really picked up after himself. We were living with family before, so I didn't really see it that much. But now we officially have our own place, and he literally throws a tantrum anytime I ask him to do anything. I clean most of the house myself, either on days I work or on my days off. I only ask him to do 3 things: take out the trash, take our dog out, and do the dishes and clean up after dinner. He does work 10 hours a week more than I do, but I still don't see why it's such a problem for him to do these few tasks when I literally do everything else around the house, such as sweep, dust, mop, laundry, both washing and folding, clean the bathroom, make dinner, do grocery shopping, etc. Am I the asshole for wanting him to help around the house? And I think we all know she is not. Because, girl, you are living with a man-child, and you are not his mama. And he needs to realize that, or he needs to start paying for a maid. That is my take on that. Just saying. I do not think it is unreasonable that if a man lives in the house with a woman, that he should do at least the same amount of work for the house as she does. Y'all can split that however you want to do. If the female likes to garden and she wants to mow the yard, go out there and mow, girl. Get your mower out. But split it however makes you guys happy. I don't care. But both parties definitely need to be doing equal the amount of work. She's willing to let him off with doing, maybe 10% of the housework, and he's still going to whine about it. Girl, it is time to move on. Don't give in to him either, because if you do, that will set you up for the rest of the time that y'all are together. We all know this from experience. And I am not the best housekeeper at all. My house is a disaster right now. It always is. So, yeah. I say that. I've had roommates before, and the common areas are kept clean. I clean up after myself, but I'm certainly not cleaning up after a grown-ass adult. No can-doozies. All right, let's see here. So Deanne says, hell no. Exactly. Janie says, your daughter has that problem. Her boyfriend won't do anything unless she tells his mom. Then mom yells at him. No, ma'am. Deanne says, he needs to go. Kick to the curb without batting an eye. Exactly. She tells me things, and I say, why isn't he doing it? Exactly. Tia says, yes, she is. 1 week after the sucker moved in, if he wasn't helping, he should be moving the hell out. I am not taking care of no able-bodied man. Exactly, Tia. Exactly. Honestly, I hate doing the dishes. Hate it. And I feel like if I've cooked, whoever didn't cook should do the dishes. Even if that just means loading the dishwasher, right? When you go to a friend's house, you do that. Why is it any different at your house to help the person that you're supposed to love to do those kinds of things? Anyhow, all right, we have gone over time tonight. I apologize. We will do our Wednesday wins next week, so write them down so you don't forget. And I want to say thank you to you guys. We're going to be doing these probably once a month. throughout the summer. I thought this would be kind of a fun way, give us some topics to talk about out of the ordinary. I'm going to keep digging on Reddit. If you find something that you would like to discuss, a little thing like this that you would like to discuss, please let me know. Send it over to me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, let me know that too. But I'm almost done. I've just got a couple more rows here. That's the purple. I think I just cut that prematurely. Either way, this is what May is looking like here. So we're almost done. We're getting pretty close. I will continue to work on that. And then here in a couple of weeks, we'll start June. So next week should be a Hooters and Heifers Live. It's the third week of the month. So we'll be doing a Hooters and Heifers Live. So I'm going to get my gang together and we will come up with something fun to talk about. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great week. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Give me a thumbs up before you leave. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Ring that cowbell because everybody needs more cowbell in their lives. And until I see you guys next time, happy stitching, happy diamond painting. Till we meet again. And join us in Tia's live tonight. I'm going to hopefully be out of the shower in time. She goes on at 9:30 Central, so just in about an hour and a half. I will see you guys there. Bye.